All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the one and only Wrestling Otaku channel. Of course, your personification of excellence on YouTube and YWC. We're the best reviews wrestling and your three-time YWC channel of the year. And I'm back here. It is now officially Wednesday, April the 2nd of 2025. So I hope y'all had a good one. Hope y'all are having a good night. Just got through watching a really good, really solid episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS. This was, of course, the go-home show before their show this upcoming Sunday. We got AEW Dynasty on pay-per-view emanating from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it's going to be a badass show. They ran through the throughout the show. They highlighted some matches we're going to see. Just a couple matches announced for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and they ran down the card for this upcoming Sunday, man. So I'm looking forward to Dynasty. AEW Dynasty is going to be another really solid pay-per-view. And if we saw what happened at Revolution, you know AEW delivers when it comes to their pay-per-view. So can't wait for that, man. It was a really solid show here, really solid go-home show. Before, of course, Dynasty this upcoming Sunday. They also got, Collision this upcoming Saturday, which is a day before their pay-per-view, of course, on Sunday, which is technically, officially April 6th. So got through watching that a little while ago. So hope you all enjoyed that. And by the way, also a little heads up for you all. At some point between now and Sunday, I will be doing my predictions video for AEW's Dynasty 2025 pay-per-view. I'm targeting probably either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. More than likely, it's going to be Friday, or maybe even Saturday. I kind of want to wait and see if they add any more matches to that card. Right now, they've got eight officially announced as of the show and all that. So I want to kind of wait until, I'm guessing Friday, sometime midday Friday probably is when I'm going to decide. Whenever I decide to record the video, but rest assured, at some point within the next few days, I'll be giving you guys my predictions video for AEW Dynasty's pay-per-view. But with that being said, I want to do this video, and also before I get into it, hope you guys enjoyed that little April Fool's Day joke that I posted yesterday. For some of you who may not be hip to it, yes, the video yesterday where I said I was homeless or whatever, that was an April Fool's Day joke. It's something I do routinely every year on April 1st. I have these little April Fool's Day videos, so it is what it is. I just kind of like to get into the swing of that, holiday season, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so for anybody who might have thought that was a serious thing, just know it wasn't. I'm not homeless. As you can see, I'm still very much in my place, and I will be, for the remainder of, as long as I want. So, so rest assured, all is good right now in the world of the Wrestling Otaku. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little April Fool's Day. Try not to take it too seriously, because I see some people in comments like taking it serious. It's not that serious. It's a gag, folks. You got to roll with the punches. You got to take it. It's like, it's a little gag. It's a little joke, so don't take it too serious. But anyway, so I want to go ahead and do this video here. Now that it's late night, it's a little past 10 p.m. Like I said, just got through watching Dynamite. And speaking of AEW, I want to do this video here because I want to give my thoughts, and I want to kind of follow up on a little report that came out a few days ago that honestly is very, very positive and a very beneficial, or a, shall we say, very eye-opening report when it comes to AEW, when it comes specifically to the viewership of their show, specifically Dynamite, at least in terms of what's going on in regards to their streaming deal. And so when this report came out, boy was the IWC talking. Boy, were these people freaking talking the last couple days about this freaking report here. So I figure I'd have to go ahead and chime in myself and give you guys my thoughts as to what I think. You kind of already seen me post about it on social media. If you guys follow me on Blue Sky, I already gave my thoughts on it, and you got the IWC, talking up a storm about this. So I want to go ahead and make an official video. So if you don't know, basically what happened is about 2 days ago, I believe it was on March, the final day of March, I think this was reported. There was a report that came out through multiple sources. I believe SC Scoops was the first one to kind of fully post about this or make a report on this. It was also reported, I believe, initially by an account, a reputable source on Reddit who has like legit connections within AEW or has legit sources within AEW. I forget the name right offhand, but it's somebody who posts regularly on Reddit, and they've posted scoops in the past. They've posted on stories in the past that ended up being true. So it's a very reputable name. Reputable name. But so what has happened is that AEW's, of course, as you know, AEW has been streaming on Max since the start of the year, since the beginning of January. Of course, they air AEW Dynamite on Max every Wednesday. Of course, on the street, Max, or, Max. It used to go about HBO Max, now it's just Max. They air AEW shows, and they also have several shows archived. They have, some old pay-per-views from 2019, also from 2020, and they also have some pay-per-views that they were supposedly adding from like last year, the year before, and also some old AEW Dynamites from, way back when, from the first year, the first year that they were televised or whatever have you. So they got some archive shows, and they also stream every week, every Wednesday. They stream live episodes of Dynamite as they happen. On top, in addition to them airing on cable, on TBS as they have been, since 2019. And I believe they also live stream. I also believe that Collision streams every Saturday on Max, as well as airing on TNT on cable. So they've basically been simulcasting Dynamite on TBS on cable and also streaming on Max, for the last few months, like I said, since the beginning of January. And up to this point, we really didn't know how many people were necessarily tuning in, because Max doesn't they don't divulge the viewership numbers. It's not the same as cable. It's not the same as, they don't have like a Nielsen rating system where they right offhand report or show like the amount of people that are watching or streaming a show on a consistent basis, or whatever the case may be, because streaming is different from terrestrial TV, obviously. So they're going to have different systems, different analytics in place. So it's not going to be the same as Nielsen ratings. But now, like I said, with this new report, we now have a glimpse. We now have kind of a scale of the amount of people who are watching AEW on Max, who are streaming AEW Dynamite on Max, every Wednesday. So we now have a bit of a scale. We now have an idea as to how many people are watching. So it was reported that, again, through this source, this reputable source, which again has ties with AEW, we now know that AEW on Max every Wednesday streams roughly, or gets roughly, about 60 million minutes of stream time for AEW Dynamite for the 2 hours that they are on Dynamite every single week. So this is 60 million minutes every single week. Now, if that's, an odd number, of course, if obviously Dynamite is 2 hours. 2 hours, of course, translates to roughly 120 minutes. So if you talk about 60 million minutes, then that's obviously a lot of freaking minutes that, people are watching or streaming or, viewing AEW Dynamite on Max. And roughly, if you do the math, which I'll get to in a second, that 60 million minutes translates to about 500,000 viewers. So if you convert, the minutes, the amount of minutes that AEW Dynamite gets on Max on streaming, that 60 million minutes, if you convert it to viewership numbers, they get roughly somewhere along the lines of 500,000 viewers per week for Dynamite on Max, on the streaming, in terms of, people who stream Max as opposed to watching on cable. And so basically, and obviously I figured this out, because I thought about it, because if you take the 60 million minutes that they're reportedly getting and you divide it by the 120 minutes that Dynamite obviously runs for, the 2 hours, of course, an hour is 60 minutes, 2 hours is 120. So you divide 120 from 60 million, you get 500,000. I mean, that's easy math. I freaking did it within seconds on a calculator. So obviously, again, that translates to about 500,000. If 500,000 people are watching or streaming Dynamite for 2 hours, that converts to 60 million minutes. Like I said, it's different for, again, This is different from, this is not the same as cable. This is not the same as terrestrial TV. This is not the same, again, this doesn't run by the same system. They run different analytics. They have different ways of keeping track of how many people are watching. So you can't always, look at everything the same way. Not like with the Nielsen ratings for cable. So, but anyway, so my point being, the report says that AEW Dynamite gets about 500,000 viewers on their on Max, who watch. There are about 500,000 people every week who watch AEW Dynamite stream AEW Dynamite on Max every single week. In addition to the however many views that they get for cable on CBS. So if you do the math, this past, not including today, not including what happens tonight because the numbers haven't come out yet because the show literally just aired. But let's take last week's Dynamite for example, and I did this on my a post on my account on Blue Sky. If you take the last week's episode of Dynamite, last Wednesday, got 663,000 viewers for the show on Dynamite last week on TBS. So if you take that 663,000 and you add the reported 500,000 extra viewers that they get on their streaming service on Max every week for Dynamite for people who stream it as opposed to watching on cable, you will get a combined viewership total of 1,163,000 people who watch Dynamite collectively. Now, this 500,000, the 60 million minutes, the 500,000 supposed viewers for Dynamite for for the streaming service, that is for both live, for streaming as it happens and after the fact. It's for for the 24 hours after the fact, because obviously not everybody can watch it right as it happens. Some people will watch it after the fact or watch it a day or so after. So that's what it includes. It's like, I forget what they got, day, live plus one or something like that, or day of or something like that, where basically it basically adds not only the people who are streaming it live, but the people who watch it after the fact or who watch it after it's archived. I guess that's what it means. Anyway, my point is, with this report, AEW is getting roughly 500,000 people a week streaming Dynamite on Max. And it was also included in the report that they're actually they have actually outdrawn some NHL hockey games, which again, Max streams the NHL. They have several sports that they stream on Max because, again, this part of Warner Brothers, it's owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. So any sport that airs on TBS or TNT, they likely stream it on their streaming service as well. So AEW Dynamite has reportedly outdrawn some hockey games over on Max as well. And if you want to use, for comparison's sake, the NBA, certain NBA games that stream on Max get roughly, around 1 million viewers, or, supposedly roughly 1 million viewers, a little over 1 million viewers for certain, like I said, certain games. So for comparison's sake, again, Dynamite gets 500,000 for streaming, and then they get whatever they get on cable on CBS every Wednesday. So with that being said, now we have a scope or, a general idea as to how many people are watching AEW Dynamite on Max streaming every week. So with that being said, that report came out again on, I believe it was March, like I said, the final day of March, or it might have been the day before. It was either March 30th or March 31st. It was one of those 2 days that report came out. And boy, oh boy, when that report came out, boy, these motherfuckers come out of the woodwork to try and bitch about this. Like all these anti-AEW, all these AEW hating, douchebag fucking losers have to come out of the woodwork and talk their shit and, get all fucking up in their feelings because once again, they were proven wrong. Once again, they look fucking dumb. Once again, they fucking can't stand the fact that AEW is actually pulling viewers, more viewers than they expected, and AEW is actually doing well and actually drawing fucking big numbers. Again, like I said before, if you include the Max streaming numbers, or the numbers that AEW Dynamite gets on the streaming service on Max, and you combine it with the numbers they get on cable and CBS, they are getting round about a little over 1 million viewers every single week for Dynamite. So I just gave you a figure. I just gave you a number for last week's show. If you add the 500,000 that they get reportedly for Max with the 663,000 they got for last week's show on TBS, they get around 1,163,000 viewers for that Dynamite show last week combined. combined. So I I think it's safe to say that a lot more people are watching and tuning in to Dynamite than these motherfuckers on social media would like people to believe. They sit here and they focus so much on the Nielsen ratings that they seem to forget that we're in the age of digital media. We're in the age of streaming. Not everybody watches on cable anymore. Okay, you can't sit here and judge a you can't sit here and judge the scope of a show's success just based on one figure, just based on the Nielsen ratings on cable, when not everybody watches that way. And we've been saying this for years. I've been saying this for years. Not everybody is going to watch on TV. Not everybody has cable nowadays. A lot of people are moving to streaming services. And so how are any of you surprised that this is the case? I knew, like, when people started making a big deal about these fucking cable numbers, about these TBS, these TBS, these cable numbers, these Nielsen ratings, saying, oh, they're not getting a million viewers, they're not getting, they fucking barked all that shit. Oh, they can't get a million viewers and all that fucking stupid shit. Well, this right here basically proves that they are getting a million viewers. So you all, once again, look fucking dumb for saying it. And another thing I want to point out is that with this report that has come out, I am proven right yet again. Because if you remember, I think it was like a month or two ago, I made a video on this very channel talking about AEW, going to streaming, moving or simulcasting, I should say, AEW Dynamite and Collision. But I'm focusing on Dynamite for this video. I made a video talking about AEW streaming or simulcasting on Max, and I said basically at the time that AEW, like, a lot more people are going to watch on streaming, because they're not everybody can watch it the same day. Some people watch it after the fact. Some people got work, some people got other obligations, and they can't always watch it right when it happens. So they're going to watch it through other services. They're going to DVR it, or they're going to watch it, through other means. And so it doesn't always, the Nielsen ratings or the cable numbers don't always reflect how many people are watching. And that was my point. And I said at the time, I believe I stated in the video, or it could have been on Blue Sky, I forget right offhand, but I did state at the time that I guarantee that if these numbers, the streaming numbers for Dynamite come out at some point, I had a feeling that it will be somewhere around that figure, somewhere around that number, somewhere around in the ballpark of 500,000. They'll get around the same number that they were getting on cable. So if you include the cable numbers with the streaming numbers, AEW is getting well over 1 million viewers, way more than anybody thinks they're getting, or way more than any of these trolling dickwads or any of these AEW hating fucking losers on social media are acting like AEW is getting. I believe I said this. I'm pretty sure I said this in video. And nobody fucking wants to believe it. You just blah, 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 blah. They said what the fuck ever. And it's like, I'm proven right again. And then, of course, you got the people on social media trying to say, oh, well, it's a fucking April Fool's Day joke because it was April Fool's Day yesterday. Oh, it's a fucking, Meltzer and Tony Khan putting out a fake report. Fake report. Newsflash, this report was put out a fucking day before April Fool's Day, okay? And it was put out by several reputable sources who I'm pretty sure are not going to fucking play that game. Considering the fact that, again, their livelihood is reporting the news or reporting, putting out wrestling, reports and stuff like that. And they're obviously, their whole thing is, credibility and being truthful and shit. And again, this came out like a day, 2 days before April Fool's Day. Okay? So it's not a fake report, JD. Because he was the big one. He was the one that I saw yesterday trying to say, oh, it's a fake report. Tony Khan and Dave Meltzer putting out fake reports. April Fool's Day, blah, blah, blah. You're a damn idiot if you think that. You're a damn idiot. It came out before April Fool's Day, you idiot. Jesus Christ. But they're trying to, my God, man, just the coping, the amount of coping from that side of the community with a report like this is just astonishing. They're trying so hard to discredit what's being reported. They're trying so hard to fucking backtrack and cover their tracks because they know they look fucking dumb now. You look fucking stupid now. Because now you have been proven wrong yet again. AEW is getting more fucking viewership and getting more eyes on the product than any of you dumbasses would like to believe. It is getting more attention and exposure to themselves than all these fucking idiots on social media want to admit. Because they don't, you know why? Because they're in fucking denial. They don't want to admit that they're wrong. But this report basically tells to the fact that you are fucking wrong. You're wrong again. Just like you've been wrong about AEW since the fucking beginning. And it's fucking hilarious to me. You sit here and talk about AEW can't get 1 million views and blah, 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 and they're losing NXT, blah, blah, blah. Are you fucking saying that now? Are you saying that now? AEW got 1.1 million viewers last week combined between cable and streaming, whereas NXT could barely get 700,000 on cable. Or CW, on you might as well say damn near network TV, CW. So who exactly is beating who? Yeah, that's exactly my fucking point. So sit down and shut the fuck up once and for all, because you fail again. You fail again. And what this report states and proves for the record is that AEW wins again. I knew it. I was waiting for those fucking numbers to come out. I knew at some point somebody was going to leak them. I knew at some point somebody was going to leak those Max streaming numbers. And thank God it happened. Thank God it happened, because now I can sit here in this video and I can tell you all that I was right once again and that AEW wins again. So much for AEW not getting 1 million viewers. So much for AEW not doing this, not doing that. Oh, they can't get this many, blah, 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 blah. Oh, they're a sinking ship. Oh, they're a dying promotion. Blah, blah, blah. You've been saying all that stupid shit for years, and you're continuously proven wrong. And with this report that came out a few days ago, you motherfuckers are proven wrong again. So keep crying, keep being salty, and keep being up in your feelings, because you are wrong once again, and I love it. Oh man, I love it, man. I love seeing this shit. I love being proven right again. So AEW wins again. The streaming numbers prove it, and the truth comes out, man. The truth will always prevail in the end. And all you hating dipshits, all you're going to do is make yourself look stupider and stupider and stupider. And you're going to dig that hole even deeper and deeper and deeper for yourselves. So give it up. AEW is succeeding. You're just butthurt. You can't handle the fact. So keep coping, keep crying, keep being salty. And AEW is just going to keep on winning. Just keep racking up those W's. TK just keeps racking up those W's and you can't handle it. Oh, man, you fucking love to see it. You love to fucking see it. So there you go, man. AEW wins again. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say for this video. So to all these AEW hating dickwads, all these loser podcasters out here who want to fucking propagate this, who want to push this smear campaign against AEW, you got all these people. You got Bully Ray and RVD, and now apparently Bret Hart trying to smear, talk trash about AEW or whatever. We all know what's going on. We all know what the fuck's going on. The fix is in, as I said before. The fix is in. They got that money. They got that almighty dollar. WWE is paying them to say that shit because they want to try to undermine AEW in the way they can. Well, it's going to fail, just like every other previous attempt to down this company has failed. You failed, and it's time to admit that you failed. Simple as that. So Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, and all you other douchebag podcasters, it's time to give it up, admit that you failed, and move the fuck on with your lives already. So that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you for watching once again. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment, give me your thoughts on anything I talked about here, and be sure, as always, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate all the support I can get. If that being said, it's pretty much going to do it, man. So thank you for watching again. Till next time, Wrestling Otaku, I'm out for now. See you guys later. Peace!